when I walked away from that situation, I said, never, ever, ever again.
I hear
Um, Now, like pink hair, and this is me. This is the me that I like to be. Not the me that I'm paid to be Monday through Friday. You're never gonna catch me at work with pink hair. You're never gonna catch me at work with a pretty pink eyeshadow that took me forever to do. Not really. It took me like 10 minutes. I'm not good at makeup. I just pretend I am. So yeah, so my third word was exasperating. But I'm very proud of those 3 words. So, Sheena, what 3 words describe you?
I would say the first word I would say professional. Because over the last 15 years, I just held a lot of professional positions, I should say, like lead positions. I'm very professional. I hold my master's degree in organizational leadership that I'm proud of, where I went in the life coaching as well. So I always bring forth that, I guess, that professional tone, especially with doing things as well. Um, Also, I guess my second word would be creative, very creative thinking. Got a creative mind. I love, like I said, writing, reading, books. I just love books all, and that got me into writing more. I want to create stories, so my mind is always going, even though I try not to overthink. But sometimes I come up with some excellent ideas and different stories. I got so many book ideas now growing from my mind thinking. And I also, I guess my third word would be dependable. I like that to think that, you can count on me. I'll show up for you, especially my BFF. So I am here. I'm dependable. But that's my 3 words.
All right. You read number 2
Oh, number 2. What we got
right
here?
here.
What is your dream job as a kid? What was
You
your dream job
you
as a
answer
kid?
first.
Okay, I get to go first. That's an easy one. That is real easy. As I was when I was a kid, I always want to be a pediatrician.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I wanted to be a pediatrician all the way to my senior year, and that's when I changed my mind when I went into the career. What is it? A career day.
Mhm.
I realized how long you had to go to school,
Oh.
and I changed my mind.
Which is so funny because those of you that don't know, those of you who don't know her, she has gone to school for the last 12 years anyways. So I don't understand why that was too long. I guess maybe they wanted 13 years to be a pediatrician at the time. I guess I don't.
Yeah, life coach, and I love it. So I guess I was supposed to be a life coach and a pediatrician. How it worked out, but I
That's
ended up
so
going to
funny.
school for 4 years anyway. But
That
yeah,
is just hilarious to
it
me.
is. And the reason why I didn't want to pursue pediatrician was the number of years I had to be in school.
Right. Um. So, my dream job as a kid. All right. So when I was in first grade, I wrote a book that said, "When I grow up, I want to be a giraffe." I was pretty sure that I could do that because my parents told me I could be anything that I wanted to be, and at school they never specified that I could not grow up to be a giraffe. So that's what I chose. Then I realized you can't change species as you grow up. Um, so I had to choose something else. I actually, and this is why this is about to be really funny about our conversation earlier, I wanted to be a singer. Me and my little sister used to write songs and perform them for our family. We had our own little music group called Wishes. And shout out to Cece, my sister, if she watches my podcast tonight. But yeah, me and my sister had a group named Wishes. We used to write songs and perform them. We like made a whole song, wrote a whole song, did the background, the beat, and everything for it for our mom for Mother's Day. That's just what we did. We really wanted to be singers when we grew up, and then I have no voice, so it would have never worked. Whatsoever because I sound kind of like, but it's weird because I do have different voices. That's actually my favorite. I'm gonna do voiceovers, y'all. I have a few different voices that people really think are funny, so I use them a lot in my real life. But I like voices. Anyways, question number 3. What is your proudest achievement? So I'm gonna say for me, this is hard. My proudest achievement in life was probably publishing my first book. My first book wasn't a book I wrote because I'm a writer. It wasn't a book I wrote for the world. In fact, I didn't even market it. I published it because I needed to do it for me, because there were so many emotions and so many things that were out there and were stuck in my head, that I figured if I just threw them out into the world, eventually I could start to heal. Now, at the moment that I published the book, I had been through years of trauma therapy. And anyone that knows anything about therapy knows it's not easy. I went on and off pretty much my whole life. There's nothing wrong with therapy either, or any stigma out there that says there is. Therapy is the best thing that anyone can do for themselves, even if it's just like a life coach versus a therapist.
I agree.
I think it's one of the most phenomenal things you can do for
Yes.
yourself, the best self-care that there is out there to offer.
Everybody needs someone.
You know,
Wisdom to lean on. So yeah.
so yeah, it doesn't make any sense that people think that therapy is not a good idea or a good thing to do. So, anyways, so I published my first book to get all of my thoughts and all of my feelings about the world, about my life, about my past, about the trauma I went through out into the open. Because if it's out there, nobody can use it against me. If I'm the one who tells you the fuel for the fire, you cannot then turn around and use the same fuel. It's already gone. So if I tell you everything about me that could hurt me or make me look bad, then what are you going to use next? I am who I am. And so publishing that book was like a freedom moment for me. So that's why I think it's my proudest achievement. So your turn, Sheena. What's your proudest achievement?
And all honesty, it's the same thing. Publishing my first book.
See?
I'm very proud of that moment because I always wanted to write. Like since early on, I always wanted to write. And when I first woke up one day, I was like motivating myself, like, yeah, I really could do this. And I just started writing. I was like, I'm gonna do it instead of just wishful thinking that I'm doing. You know how long I just stopped there and was wishful thinking, like, I wish I could do it. I wish I could do it. And one day I was like, why can't I do it? And I just started writing. And the next thing you know, I got chapter 1 in, 2 in, and I was like, Shannon, you're doing it. You really is doing it. So, and then when it got done, you got to publish, even though, I self-published, and there's nothing wrong with self-publishing. I think this is okay,
I self-published also, just so we all know. We're both on Amazon.
Get your work out there. Good feeling knowing that your work is out there. So if you do that self-publishing, or that's an option that's good for you at that moment, just go for it and know that there's nothing wrong with self-publishing. Get your work out there by any means necessary. It is a wonderful feeling that I can say, yes, I did it. I published. I wrote it. This is my baby. I'm putting it out into the world. It is out there, and I did it.
Right. Yeah, I mean, because we've all been there, where something was stopping us from feeling freedom or relief. And once you make that first accomplishment, that kind of like moment in your life sets the tone for everything else, because all you want to do is feel that feeling again. So you go harder and harder and harder to get it. I think it's a great feeling. But anyways, moving on.
It is a great feeling.
So these next few questions are going to be kind of quick because they are would you rather questions. So the first one is, would you rather spend the weekend in a tropical paradise or in a snow haven? Well, let me say this.
That's easy for me.
Well, go ahead then, because it's not easy for me.
Easy.
No, what would you choose?
Tropical paradise. I can't stand the cold. That's why.
See, listen, and so let me say this, y'all. The sun, I have gone through skin cancer. I'm in full remission now. But The sun is like my worst enemy in the world. It's made me sick since I was a child. I used to have like heat stroke, and I would get overheated, and I would get these sunburns that I would like blister my entire body from, and we never knew it was wrong. And then on top of that, I'm allergic to sunscreen. So the sun is not my friend.
No, it's not.
However, I am 37 years old, and anyone over 35 knows that for some reason, somehow, magically on your 35th birthday, as soon as it gets just a teeny bit cold outside, all of your bones start to hurt. I don't know how that happens,
I don't know either.
but it does. It's like on your 35th birthday. It's like, congratulations, the cold made you hurt. It's,
Or the
but
rain.
yes,
With
the rain hurts your knees,
arthritis.
man. I mean, I don't have arthritis, but yeah, no. So it's a really hard one for me because if I had to choose for physically, it would be a tropical paradise. I would just stay in the shade and have a fan on me the whole time. Um, but I wouldn't be comfortable. I'm miserable when I'm hot. In the cold, I can put on more clothes. I can add furs. I can
So you're more
wrap up in
comfortable in
blankets.
a snow haven.
But my bones still hurt even if I wrap up in all that stuff. And so that was a really hard one for me, y'all. Anyways, go ahead with number 5.
Number 5 is, would you rather be able to control time or fly? I would say fly.
Why?
It's so cool. Because it's so cool. And it's another reason why as well is because I have experienced some trauma as well growing up in my childhood that I used to think I wanted to be a bird so I could fly.
To get away?
Get away and be on top and looking down.
Y'all, that is based in our background from outside in the neighborhood. Nobody is like, it sounded like Jumanji was on the porch just now hitting drums or something, but that's somebody driving by. So just ignore that if you can hear it. I don't know how well these mics are all working together. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just saying that, I always wanted to be a bird, fly. And you remember, there was a song,
I'm like a bird, I want to fly away.
I love that song. And I just was like, I'm going to fly. I will fly because I always want to fly. I just want to fly. Be in the sky. I just want to be in the sky with the clouds.
Oh man, so listen, that makes sense. Mine was more of a logical answer. I chose fly also though.
Oh really? Why?
So the reason I chose fly is because even if you can control time, what would you do if you pause time? Like what could you accomplish during that time? Because any time that you need to accomplish something, it usually has to do with interacting with someone else. Things you need to do on your own, you do on your own anyways. Regardless if people are around and what's going on with time and stuff like that anyways. So, but like, yeah, like, but if you could mess with time, if you fast forward through your work shift, what did you really accomplish? You don't know what you did because you fast forwarded through it. So I don't want to mess with time, but if you can fly, you can get things done faster in less time. Do you know how great it would be to not drive the 4 hours it takes me to get from the North Georgia mountains to South Carolina to come see Sheena if I could just fly over real quick? Like, girl, I'll come by Friday. You want to have dinner?
Right. And a landing strip right there instead of the driveway.
Well, I would hope if we had the ability to fly that we wouldn't have to have landing strips. Because it sounds like you need special shoes. And I don't like shoes. Actually, I love shoes. I just don't like everybody's shoes. So the next one is, would you rather read the end of every book only or always forget the ending of the book? Ooh, that's a hard one.
Oh, that's kind of easy for me, though.
Go ahead.
It's easy for me because I used to, every book that I have read, ever since, I was like, 9, 10, somewhere in there, 12, or somewhere like that, was infatuated with books. Every time I start a new book, I will always go to the last chapter and read the last chapter. Because I had to know how it ended before I even started the book. So I will go and read the last chapter so I can see how it ended. Then that excited me more to see how it got to that point.
So, but the question reads the end of every book only. Like you won't be able to read the rest of the book.
I misinterpreted that whole thing. So I won't be able to read.
You could only read the end, or every time you read the book, you would forget the end. So do you wanna know how every story ends, or do you wanna know the whole story?